I'll just say a few quick words about my process. It's like Mia just walked in and was surprised. She didn't even know that we were closing and just thought she was coming into a regular class. And some people had just started in the last weeks and grown to like the practice and the space. Um, but the signs were there in the last year and a half or so, and lots of indications that we should shut the doors, and plenty of people wanted the space and things like that. But um, we resisted, and because it's just a super difficult thing to let go of. We've had so much healing in this space and shared so much. I think I have almost 8,000 hours of teaching yoga in these last 10 years. And um, it, I guess what I could really speak to is this last week where we would come in and we'd start pulling things out, and we had to start really going through the actions of letting go. Letting go in in the idea is one thing, but then when you start pulling things out, and there was one day where it was really particularly hard, and uh, almost all the doubt thoughts came in, like, am I really doing the right thing? And then, do you ever watch the movie Sully? When almost chokes me up how give me a second. This wasn't planned. I got it now. Thanks, Lori. That's all I need. So he had seconds to make this incredibly crucial decision. We've had a year and a half, but the decision, once you make the decision, God, there's something just divine about sticking to it. It is the key, even if it means closing a door. Um, it's divine because it has to happen. It's I think it's the verses in the Bible that say, "Let your yays be yay and your nays be nay," and it's the vacillation, it's the back and forth that keeps the next miracle from happening and keeps the next door from opening. And we get stuck in relationships, we get stuck in this, and we get stuck in that, and we have the hardest time letting go. And so, we both went to this 2-week meditation retreat just about a month ago, and I even wanted to try to make a decision before I went to that. And they said, no, bring your question here. And so it's the process of getting to the answer and then sticking to it. And that's made all the difference. I think that is the road less traveled. And how do we all do that? So if anything, I guess that story alone could be remarkably helpful for me to remember, and for you as well. Um, so now I can stand here and say, as much as I love the space and I love sharing it and all of your beautiful hearts and faces here in this room, I can honestly say we made the right decision. And already I can feel doors opening. And so stay tuned. The online practice will remain, but we will find another way to come together here in Boulder without the responsibility and things that this came, a lot of it which led to the decision. So, but even if this were free, even if this was, even if it was just not that big of a responsibility, there's no such thing as free in Boulder, Colorado, but I wouldn't trade the process for anything. We just go through this. And so let's dedicate this class, this practice today to that very thing of getting clear at the things that we all have in our lives that we have to say a very clear yes to or a very clear no to. We'll let our yays be yays and our nays be nays, and let miracles happen and let doors open up. Yay! Yeah. All right. And then anybody who wants to stick around after class, we'll share some more. Can you start today? I know some of you have a wall, some of you don't, but let's put legs up on the wall, have your um, head on the bolster. We're not going to be at the wall too much. So if you're in the middle of the room, have your head on the bolster and just have your knees bent, feet on the floor. You beat it.
Sorry, in my car. I
You
didn't
what?
want to disrupt.
Oh,
Sorry, in my car.
can't disrupt anything. Come
Oh, yeah.
on. You ain't seen nothing yet. Huh? uh, yeah, and just feel your heart. If you really want to, just put your head on the floor and then put the bolster under. It'll work better. Yeah, bolster under and just let your head be on the floor. It'll, yeah. Wrap your arms around the end of the bolster and just have them under a little bit. You don't need to go for the interlock. Open the fingers, open the palms of your hands, and receive the weight of your head and the bolster into your hands. And slowly turn your head to the left and let this very familiar shape in this familiar, lovely space, just let it all come in. An invitation to go inside. Past the fluctuations, past the grievances, past the wishes and wants, into the certainty of perfect love. Yes, where our yeses become as clear as our no's. They're, but see, the yeses and nos never, we never make those decisions alone. Ideally, we come to love's presence and we ask for help. And then it shows up sometimes in our own thoughts, sometimes through the words and voices of another, sometimes through symbols. We trust that guidance. Like Robert Frost said, it makes all the difference. Bring your head back to the center. Just rest even deeper. And turn your head to the second side. We let the healing come through. I don't do the healing. You don't do the healing. Doctors don't do the healing. The healing comes through. But every single person in our lives plays a helpful role. Bring your head back to the center and release your arms to your sides. And if your legs are on the wall, bend your knees, push yourself back. Put the bolster off to the side. And do you all have a strap? Anybody need a strap? All right.
Raise your hand if you need a strap.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is bend your knees, lift your hips, put the bolster crosswise underneath your pelvis. So the low back is free to release and drop toward the floor. Keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. Heels out a little bit. Your toes feel like they'll point straight forward. Parallelish in quality are your legs. We're out of the small bolsters, ma'am. Lift up.
Can't change my body.
Can you just keep inching back? It's going to get better. All right, open your strap and fold it in half a couple times. You okay there? Even back a little more would be helpful. In half twice. Hold it overhand toward the ceiling. Arms parallel. Okay, and then remember the details on your legs. They're parallelish. The heels are slightly out. And you press the feet into the floor a little bit to encourage your low back toward the floor. Just assisting with this release and a gentle flexion of your whole spine. Lift your chin, open your throat a bit, and begin to tug on the strap. Tug it apart a bit, extend the elbows, but let the shoulders sink into the floor. Sometimes we reach for the ceiling, and right now you're doing the opposite, not retracting, not holding your shoulders down, but allowing them down. And you'll just keep allowing them down as you lower overhead. And tearing on the strap and firming your grip between all your fingers and thumbs. Your face is relaxed, your forehead serene. And what a gift, what a treasure to not have to advance the shape and not have to pursue a thing. That in respecting and working with all the sensation that shows up, there is enough. Always enough. with lasting peace as goal and guide, there's always enough. Okay, and then just the tearing action on the strap, just the firming of the fingers and thumbs. You feel your whole body, the dropping of your low back toward the floor, the feet on the floor, from your feet, through your whole body. You slowly start to raise. Once again, letting the head of the humerus sink into the floor as you raise up. Now, go slowly through the shaky places, the uncertain places, with the same peace that lowered your arms toward the floor. Shoulders are loaded with history and emotion and memories and traumas and so we got to work with all that. So oftentimes shoulder work is far less physical than we think. All right, now set the strap to the side and bend the right knee, bring it toward the center of your chest. Interlock your fingers over the knee. The back of the pelvis stays balanced and heavy and even on the bolster. Eyes closed. You just come into this very familiar, extremely practical shape. Welcoming the compression right along with any stretchy feelings, any stretchy qualities. We welcome it all, and we just sort of dissolve our way into these shapes. There's a state of mind that goes right along with the perfect amount of pressure. The perfect amount of pressure helps dissolve. Too much pressure hardens. Now, at a snail's pace, slowly guide the knee toward the right shoulder. Maybe the pressure changes. Gently release your foot to the floor. Bring the left knee toward your center chest, fingers over the top. Switch the interlock of the fingers. Yeah, so here's an analogy. Trying to advance the shape, trying to push the shape is analogous to a meditation where we try to connect to our divinity, to perfect love. We can't push or pull our way to either without automatically bringing up resistance. That's how tricky it is. But when we're gentle and we are truly open-minded and we are willing to let the obstacles be dissolved, like Rumi said, seek not for love, seek, find, and remove the barriers to love. Then it is fully given. Then the shape responds. Then the mind is healed. Super slow. Move the knee toward the left shoulder. Lower your foot to the floor. Okay, and then adjust the bolster so it's comfortable, well supported. And then have your hands over the bolster, just wrap them around the end in a supportive way. You're going to hold onto the bolster a bit. Bring the right knee in again. And then bring the left knee in again. Your hands stay uninvolved. They're out to the sides, holding the bolster. And then extend the right leg up toward the ceiling. And activate the right leg. Up through the heel, toes to you, strong through the leg. Squeeze the bones in your right leg. Point the left toes. And fold on the left hip. So you bring the left knee toward your left shoulder. The right heel extends straight up toward the ceiling. And then you add weight. Somehow, some way, you add weight to the bolster. Anchoring. Yeah, so this leg straight up. Straighten this one. Yeah, and then this one bends. There. It's like a upside down bicycle. Riding a bicycle through space. Speaking of space, what was the joke I heard this morning? How does NASA plan a party? Oh, yeah, okay. How does NASA organize a party? They plan it. All right. Okay, bad joke. See, I had to get rid of that one. I had to move that one on. Okay, back to the yoga. The upside down bicycle, riding through the planetary system. Up through the heel, activate your toes, right ones to you, point the left ones. Just feel into these details. And then extend the left leg up, bring the right knee in. And up through the left heel. Pull the left toes to you. Fold on the right groin. And try to curl the right toes. And you keep bringing the right knee toward the right shoulder, which opens up across the instep and opens up across the tibialis muscles in your shin. And may lead to welcome cramps. Extend the right leg up. Pull all 10 toes to you. Squeeze your thighs. Press your ankles together. Part the heels a bit. And add weight to the bolster. Hollow the belly out. You try to make distance between the back of the pelvis and your heels through very strong straight knees. Compress your knees here. Slowly, keeping them active, heels out, very slowly, widen your legs. Keep it safe, you got to stay confident. We're just moving the head of the femur in the socket, and we're exposing any resistance in the soft tissue all around, and we're giving it all time to unwind. And you keep pulling the hips down. If it gets to be too fatiguing or too demanding, then go ahead and bring your legs back together. We'll just be here another 20, 30 seconds. Far better to reduce some pressure and refine than it is to push into something that doesn't feel quite right. As if moving through some sort of resistive medium, you slowly bring your legs back together. That helps you anchor into the hips. We want to increase the pressure in the ball and socket joint and bring the movement. How else are we going to polish it? Yeah, people don't go for hamstring replacements, they go for hip replacements. We got to get closer to the problem. Okay, bring the right knee in, the left knee in, and hold your knees now with your hands. And relax. Diminish the pressure. Relax your belly. And then lower the right foot to the floor. Keep the left. Fingers over the, both, interlock your fingers over your left knee. And slowly extend the right leg out. Yeah, so the right heel goes out onto the floor. And very slowly, you start to point the right toes again, moving the right knee toward the floor. And for some of you, after a moment, you can bring the heel off the floor. Yes, and now point the toes a lot. Right toes get pointed. Right knee fairly straight. A little bend in the knee is okay because not so much the knee, we're targeting the thigh muscles and the front of the hip. So you can let the whole right leg way toward the floor a bit. You get this stretchy feeling across the thigh and the groin. And meanwhile, now the head of the femur is being pressed up against the front of the front of the acetabulum, the socket. Engage the buttocks a little bit. Engage the hamstrings. Point the toe. Let that leg be heavy. But safe. Bring the right knee back in. Switch the fingers over the right knee and slowly extend the left leg out. It's okay to have the heel come to the floor and the knee can be bent. It's a nice place to rest a moment and really feel your tissues reorganize. Give them a chance to adapt to the shape. It's not just the tissues, it's the nervous system, the brain, the mind, everything has to come along for the ride. And then you start to point the left toes, open the instep, and bring the heel up off the floor some and let the leg weigh down. There's lots of room for experimentation here on terms of how high you have your foot, how straight you have your knee. Okay, lower your foot, diminish the effort, and release your right knee. And we'll extend the right leg out now as well. Make any adjustment on the bolster. Your legs are going to be out straight on the floor. The knees slightly bent. It's a relaxed shape. If it's too pinchy on your low back, then move the bolster towards your heels. And find your strap. This time you're going to hold the strap with your hands close together. So the strap is still folded twice, and then you hold the strap in the middle with your hands touching. Extend up overhead toward the ceiling first, firming your grip, the same tearing action on the strap, letting the shoulders sink into the floor. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint, but it also has scapular glide. There's huge range of motion. We want it all. Slowly lower overhead. Slight tearing on the strap. No goal but peace, which means we, moment by moment, bring to light and forgive the things that impede our peace, which is always a thought. Seems like it could be something on the outside, something, some situation, some form, something outside of us, but it's always the perspective we give it, the thought behind it. We forget we have the power to see peace instead. And that changes everything. Everything. Okay, now it's quite a bit for the structure here. So go slow, pay attention, listen carefully. Not just to my words, but listen to your heart. Listen to the feedback. Feel your heels on the floor. Feel the impact on the pelvis and the groin and the thighs, and feeling all that. Merge your mind with it all and slowly raise up. Beautiful. All right, and then once you have your arms back up toward the ceiling, some of you are still taking your time. You'll set the strap to the side. Lift your hips and push the bolster down under your knees. Down under the knees, lower thighs, near the knees, heels on the floor. And then lift the hips once and move your tailbone toward the bolster and let your low back fully envelop onto the floor. Arms out to the sides, palms up, just 10, 12 inches out from your sides, palms up. Now with your eyes closed, look to the wall behind you, which means lifting the chin, arcing your neck, just a slow, thoughtful movement, and feel the muscles in the neck, but then right into the base of the skull. See if you can feel them engage. Very slowly turn to the right, just inches at a time, degrees at a time. Target the little tiny muscles right at the base of the skull. Can you enlist them and spend some time with them? Who cares how far you turn? They're trigger points. We just have to turn them on and give them permission to dissolve. There is nothing more powerful than honestly looking at the problem as it is, not the way we set it up, not the way we want it to be. We just honestly look. And rest and wait. Let it be undone. As good as something is, as much as we may love doing something or having something in our lives, there comes a time when we must undo and let a better way come through. When the clinging becomes evident, it's time to let go. Bring your head back to the center. Pause, rest, let your body be heavy, deeply restful. And then lift the chin again and look as if to look to the wall behind you, small, slow degrees to the left. We look for cramps in the feet. We look for cramps throughout the body. See if you can find a little trigger point, a little cramping quality. These little tiny muscles in the base of the skull. Just a super, super kind approach. What is kind must also be forgiving. They go hand in hand. Otherwise, it would be false kindness. Bring your head to the center. And then bend your knees. Push the bolster away. Clear your mat off and roll onto your belly. Your head to the right, left cheek on the floor, hands by your sides, palms up. In a similar movement, move your chin away from the shoulder a little bit. Head turned to the right. If it's too strong on your neck, you can support with your hand or your arm up by your shoulder. We could put the bolster under your shoulder. Just not too strong on the neck so you can really sink. Sink into the shape, sink into the mat, and let your bones sink through the soft tissues. Some of us have goals for fitness or goals for health or goals for losing weight or goals for this or goals for that. Put the goal for peace in front of them all. Be super clear that that is the number one goal, and then everything else will just follow naturally. And with much more joy. Slowly arc your chin out and make the slow turn through. It's okay to feel the compression in the back. You just got to go slow. Turning to the left, the right cheek eventually rests down, chin away from the left shoulder. Okay, bringing your head back to the center, you're going to have your hands out in front of you. Parallelish arms, your hands out in front, elbows under your shoulders. If you can have the elbows under the shoulders, not back by your ribs, but under the shoulders. And then you can move them back if it happens to be too demanding on your back, too pinchy on your low back. You can adjust your arms because we're once again going to let the spine be passive. Even the shoulders can be relatively passive. They can, that's it. Yep. The shoulders can hike toward the ceiling and your spine can hang between your shoulder girdle and your hips. And the head can drop down. All those cues, directional in nature. Quite effortless. Yeah, you can let your head rest too, Mia. Let the neck relax. And slowly push yourself up. Come on up to all fours. And you're going to have your knees mat width apart, toes in, heels out. And you have a bolster you can place between your feet if you feel like you need it. Keep a little outer movement on the heels. Want the bolster? Yeah. You can move it out of the way. Yeah. And then just slowly start to sit back. Toes in, heels out, Michael. Yeah, make your two big toes touch. Okay, and now it's no good time for too much pressure on the knees or the ankles, so manage with your hands on the floor or adjust the bolster. Get it just right so we could be here for a couple days. Let's just heck with it. Support for the perfect inner experience. You can support actively with your hands and arms. You could support passively with the bolster, maybe a block. Healing comes through, not to. Okay, and if it gets to be too strong or too demanding, then it will be time for you to come out of the shape and you just sit in Sukhasana, have your right leg in front of the left, whenever the time is right. Otherwise, we'll stay here a little longer. Yeah, cows can sit in a pasture this way and be peaceful, chew their cud, bask in the sunshine. With a little time, so can we. A little practice. All right, and then release slowly. Have a seat on the floor, right leg in front of the left. Close your eyes. Soften forward. Soften, allowing your spine to curve. How's it been going, Chris? How you doing? Still playing a lot of golf? Sweet. All right. All right. I love hearing that. Raise yourself up. Switch across your legs. Soften forward. Okay, raise up. And we'll finish in a nice resting shape. Once again with the bolster under your thighs, supporting the knees. Your heels will be on the floor. Your head will be on the floor. Arms at your sides. Now, press your thighs into the bolster, lift your hips off the floor, and then lift your feet off the floor. Make your whole body nice and strong, and engage the abs and pull the pubic bone towards your nose, curl the tailbone toward the ceiling, point your toes, flex your ankles, a little bit of both. And then lower down in such a way that your low back stays long and open on the mat. Chin up a bit, let your airway be free. Palms up about 10 or 12 inches out to the sides. We receive as we give. And that's what lets the love and the light and the healing come through us. We don't want it to stop at the body. It goes through us in everything we do. And we never stop healing because we never stop joining. Yoga joins. And you'll know it's happening. You'll know it's true because the feeling increases as you give it away. The love just grows, the light gets brighter. And when we stop it up and we give our grievances and our judgments, we project them out, then we know we just bottled it up. It's painful and the healing stops. And so we forgive and we begin again. I can think of a couple songs I'd love to cue up right now. A couple Beatles songs, Let It Be. And then that Eric Clapton song, Let Your Love Grow. Just let it grow. Yeah, all you need is love. Isn't that the truth? The peace, the love, the gratitude. the thankfulness, the healing, they all come from the same place. It's all eternal, and it's available to all. So no matter what shape we have, no matter where we go, we can bask in the light. With that in mind, go ahead and push the bolster out of the way and find a comfortable seat. And just take a moment. Let's just take a moment and glance around the room. Take in the space, take in the beautiful hearts and faces. And see the love that we share. And close your eyes and come back into the unity of it all. We slip beyond the illusion of separation and come to this place in heart and mind. It's exactly why the Beatles said, all you need is love, because that's all there is. Namaste. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Well,
All right.
I'll be in touch.
Okay. I'm here for you. All right. So um, let's do let's have a circle in here for anybody who would like to stay. Maybe words aren't necessary now, but we mentioned at the beginning, so let's just have a little circle for anyone who wants to stay. If you feel like you're complete and you want or need to go, that's fine too. I love you too. I will. I'm not going anywhere. Mm. Really?
My neighbors are trying to evict me right now.
Oh, let it go, baby.
To talk to
Let
the
it go.
police.
Yeah. It's just the same thing I'm doing here. It's time to move on. Yeah, let it go. Just make it peaceful. Let it go. Let another door open. Yeah. And stay in touch. Make it as easy as you can. Amen.
Thank you. I'll hug
Oh,
you.
Gary. Thanks, brother.
You're a very fine yoga teacher. I'll miss this.
Okay. Well, stay tuned. We're gonna find a way to come together at least a couple times a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an Avita book?
It's in the midst. It's another reason I had to let this go. I got a book to finish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're working.
Thank you again. Good
Okay.
luck with everything.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Well, sorry.
I still get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, you
Same
got
email?
same email. Yeah. None of that has changed. I still live right up there. Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I know you live right up there too.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So what to talk about?
Lots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go have that cup of tea
All right,
and
Mr.
some cheese.
You go.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Hey, Glenn.
Hey. Oh, that was a beautiful class.
Wasn't that
That
amazing?
was
Those words
amazing.
just kept
That
pouring
was
in.
just
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm definitely doing that class again.
Me too.
And I'd love to meet for coffee. So
Right.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Denise.
Best wishes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. It's been so fun having you in class. You've been so dedicated. How's your tennis game going?
Tennis game's going pretty well.
Good.
Yeah, we start our season on the 29th.
All right.
So our league season. So
It's exciting. All right. Have fun. You're welcome. Oh, I will. Yep.
Stay for a little bit, but can you? I'm going to buy a Bolster right now in case I have to leave for your.
Yeah. Yeah. You just get it. You just got to get it past the Bolster police. Well, my wife.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's particularly fond of the sage ones because, yeah. But the dark green ones and let's see, how many do we have? You like that one?
Yeah, that's my plan.
Okay, go ahead.
Right, let me hear.
Just put it in your pocket.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you
Oh,
that I keep in touch. Keep in touch.
I will. You keep in touch with me.
You're lucky you're local.
Okay.
Huh? You're lucky you're local. Well, you don't have to move, you know. Well, I'm working on being here. All right. I just wanted to tell you that I really believe you're doing the right thing.
Oh, thank you. I
You have so much to offer. And just the fact that you're doing the videos before COVID ever started.
isn't that crazy?
Isn't that a little clue?
Yeah.
Because, I've been doing it out of state, and other people have been doing it out of state. And
Yeah.
you have so much more. There's so many people you're going to reach.
That's what I feel.
But you have
Yeah.
to, you have to sacrifice some of yourself to do it, But it's, to do what you do, like the classes 3 in a row, and with such quality, I mean, that's a hell of a lot of giving, and you can't sustain that for your whole life,
No,
Right, yeah.
I can't.
So,
Yeah.
and you've given me so much, and friends, and people, you've given so much to so many people that you don't even know.
Mm.
And so,
Thank you.
you are doing the right thing.
Oh, sweetie, thank you so much. Oh.
I'll keep doing it, And when I'm back, I'm sure there'll be something. There's also, there's a lot of empty space in Louisville.
Oh.
And it's right down the road.
Do you know if you have anything that you can think of that you want to send me? You have our email address?
Yes. Right.
If you don't, get it. Well, I'll go in and look at your name, but just will you make a note? Because I'm wide open to spaces.
Well, because,
Pun
and
intended.
basically right when you get off of the highway at McCaslin right there, there's just various targets. There's stores, Lowe's is going out, there's huge spaces.
Okay.
There's a big church that was talking about leaving. And,
Wow.
I mean, there's just
Okay.
space.
I see.
It's just,
okay.
I can't. I'm not,
If you think of anything specific, let us know. Otherwise,
I'll look a little bit for something
Okay.
specific. Right, yeah.
Okay.
But, I was going to say, people that are more connected than me, I can talk to people that are more connected than me. But it's so close. I mean, it's like, and it's probably not as expensive as here.
No,
and because
it's not
there's
as expensive.
enough space available.
Yeah.
There's spaces that haven't been getting filled.
Okay.
There in that shop, and all that shop. There's all the shopping centers, right along the castle. Right
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. Thank you, Karen. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
It's
been a
finding
while.
my way back to you
Oh.
when I got the email about your
Closure.
call it
Yeah, no.
closure, but I see it more as an opening.
All right.
Like you were saying, the door closes, you don't stay in the darkness. Something is opening for you. But I read about your online offer, so I'm gonna.
Do you have a setup at home to do it?
I can do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it works really well.
Yeah, the online thing was hard for me during COVID with a few things I was trying to do, but I just feel like I need this back in my life, and so I feel like I can make
Yeah.
that work.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you, you too.
That's how I do
And
it.
then, you were talking about, maybe some things in the future. Is there a way that you will stay linked to the community? Because obviously, like right now, like my email's linked to the Yoga Loft, that's where I'm getting things through.
All that'll stay.
That'll stay.
Oh
So
yeah.
you're just going to keep
None of
that
that'll
same
change.
kind of listserv, and that's how you'll be communicating over time if things do
Yeah.
pop up. Great.
Yeah. I'm probably have something going out at least twice a month. So if for some reason it stops, sometimes those get weird and they start going to spam or something, but just always reach out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best
All right.
of luck.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm glad you made it to this class.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad I had the day off because I seen the email and I was like, okay, I think about the online, and then when I saw about the gym, I have to work it into my day.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt I needed to commit.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did. Yeah, and at home it's nice to just leave your mat out, just leave it set up, and
Well, I think for me it's just about I have space in mind. It's about creating just a space that becomes kind of that sanctuary for that.
Yeah, and then it just calls you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the nice thing about the videos, you don't even have to really see them. You just can hear them most of the time, and
Because in here my eyes are closed the whole time anyway.
it's the whole idea.
What I'm
Yeah.
hearing. Well, take care. I'll
Okay.
see you online.
Okay, thank you.
I guess there's not going to be a circle.
It looks like
All right.
we are the circle, baby.
You are the best.